George and the bellhop made it all the way to the Grand Hotel without dropping a single cake. "Here we are. Thanks, George. I'm lucky you were here to help." Once the cakes were safely delivered, George got the books out of his backpack to give to Wanda Jewel. "Uh-oh, how did this happen?" thought George. All of the books were ripped and torn, and some of the words were missing. He couldn't give them back like this. Wow, you found a lot of books. Click on the one you want to fix. Uh-oh, this one needs to be fixed. Put each word back in the correct sentence.
Charlie the Wonder Dog. Crown. Cape. Vest. Gown.
"Help!" cried Queen Jingles. "The ruby has been stolen from my crown!"
Charlie the Wonder Dog put on the red cape that helps him fly through the air. That way, he could catch Fluffy the cat burglar. Charlie reached into Fluffy's vest. There was the jewel! Charlie returned the ruby to Queen Jingles.
"You look lovely,"
said Charlie.
"and this ruby matches your silk gown."
Good work! The County Fair. Ring. Booth. Judge. Ribbon. Henry baked a cheesecake and put a ring of strawberries on the top. He brought it to the fair for a baking contest. He was surprised to see so many other cakes in the booth.
"There are too many,"
thought Henry.
"Mine will never win."
The judge tasted every single cake. When she got to Henry's, she ate the whole thing. "That was the best cheesecake I've ever had," she said. "Henry will win first place and a blue ribbon." Super! Fun all year. Weather. Winter. Summer. Season. Charlie and Jingles play outdoors in every kind of weather. In winter, they dig tunnels in the deep snow. In spring, they dig up tulips. When it gets hot in the summer, Charlie and Jingles swim after the ducks in the pond. In the fall, they chase the chipmunks who are gathering nuts. Every season of the year, these dogs have outdoor fun. You got it! The class pets. Hamster. Parrot. Lizard. Snail. Jingles was very happy. It was her job to take the class pets home during school vacation. "Keep each pet in its proper home," said the teacher. "Keep the furry brown hamster in the little cage. Keep the talking parrot in the big cage. Keep the scaly lizard in the glass cage."
"I won't worry about the snail,"
said Jingles.
"Its house is on its back."
You got it! Fire safety. Alarm. Alarm. Exit. Careful. Injure.
"If there is a fire, you will hear a very loud alarm bell,"
said Charlie to the children.
"Find the exit that is closest to you and walk to that door. Be careful and do not run," Charlie continued. You might injure yourself or someone else. Remember, this is how we go out if there is a fire.
The bell rang and the children raced out the door.
This is how we go out if there is recess,
said Henry.
Great!
First day of school. Locker. Gym. Pupil. Absent.
Tomorrow is your first day of school, Jingles,
said Charlie.
They will give you a locker where you will put your things. Bring your sneakers so you can go to gym. Remember these things and be a good pupil,
said Charlie.
I can't remember all those things,
said Jingles.
I'm not going.
Then you will be absent,
said Charlie.
I will not. I will always be Jingles,
said Jingles.
Super!
Dinosaur days. Huge. Fossil. Reptile. Sharp. Charlie and Jingles were digging holes in the yard.
I have found a bone,
cried Jingles.
It is very big. It is huge.
That is not just a bone,
said Charlie.
It is a fossil. It is all that is left of a dinosaur or other big reptile.
I hope that whoever left it does not come back for it,
said Jingles.
You are right, Jingles,
said Charlie.
Whoever it was may have had very sharp teeth.
Good work! The one that got away. Brook. Flow. Wade. Shore. Charlie and Jingles were fishing from a rock in the middle of a bubbling brook.
I love to watch the water flow,
said Jingles.
Look! A fish!
The fish bit Charlie's hook. Charlie pulled his line hard. The fish pulled Charlie's line harder. Charlie fell in. The water was too deep to wade in. Charlie swam to shore. Jingles laughed.
That fish is telling everyone about the dog that got away.
Great job! Train time. Engine. Coach. Crossing. Caboose. Jingles loved to watch the trains in the yard near the station. The big engine growled loudly as it started to pull the cars. Jingles waved to all the people seated in the coach.
I wonder where they're going,
she thought. Jingles ran to the crossing. She waited until her favorite car, the caboose, passed by. Jingles barked, "Hello!" The little train dog, sitting at the rear door, barked back,
Hello, Jingles!
"Good work!" Family reunion. Camper. Cabin. Gear. Clearing. Mice from all over the world came to the Cheddarland campground for a family reunion. Henry carried his backpack and felt like a real camper. His cousins, the lab mice, stayed in a big green tent. The fat mice rented a log cabin. Henry's family got out their hiking gear and went for a long hike. When they came back, they built a campfire in a clearing in the woods. Everyone had a good time. Excellent! Cat and Mouse chase blues. Pit. Tuba. Harp. Tune. Fluffy chased Henry into the music hall. The band was in a pit right below the stage. Henry jumped into a big brassy tuba to hide.
Where is that mouse?
Fluffy wondered. The player blew hard. A funny sound came out, and so did Henry. Henry bound the strings of the harp and landed on the drum.
What is that strange tune?
Asked the band leader.
This is the Cat and Mouse Chase Blues,
said Fluffy. Great job! Presents for Mom. Dump. Sewer. Trash. Collect. Charlie and Jingles went to the town dump. They chased each other through an old sewer pipe. They saw big piles of trash everywhere. Jingles wondered why people would throw such good things away. Jingles and Charlie found a red umbrella, a baby stroller, a yellow boot, and a nice tire.
Let's collect these things for Mom,
said Jingles.
Good idea,
said Charlie. He pushed the old stroller, piled high with treasures, all the way home. Great! A strange dream. Ill. Cure. Healthy. Clip. Fluffy was sound asleep. Henry had an idea. He crept up to her and whispered,
Your sharp claws are bad for you. They are making you ill. I know a good cure.
Fluffy meowed in her sleep. Henry continued,
Do you want to stay healthy? Then you must clip your long claws.
Fluffy woke up and clipped her claws right away. Henry smiled proudly. Excellent! A visit to the dentist. Rinse. Braces. Roots. Toothbrush. Charlie went to the dentist. She brushed his teeth. Then she told him to rinse his mouth and spit into a little round sink. She took an X-ray to see if Charlie had cavities or needed braces. The dentist showed Charlie his X-ray. He saw the roots that hold his teeth in his jaw. Then Charlie got a green toothbrush that glowed in the dark. It was a good day for teeth. Excellent! Happy Father's Day! Change. Earn. Chores. Sale. Charlie and Jingles wanted to buy Pop a Father's Day present. They shook their piggy banks. Empty. They looked under the sofa cushions for change, but they found only a few pennies. They would have to earn some money. They did chores for Mom. They raked and weeded and mowed. They made enough money to buy a present at the flower shop sale.
Oh, great garden tools,
said Pop.
Let's work in the yard together.
Yard work?
Barked Charlie and Jingles.
Oh, no!
Great job! Ranch hands. Cattle. Cattle.
Graze. Herd. Stray.
Charlie and Jingles worked on a ranch. Their job was to keep cattle safe. They stayed in the field all day watching the cows graze together. It was peaceful work. One day, one of the cows walked away from the herd.
We need to bring back that stray cow,
Said Charlie. Then all of the cows started running away.
Stampede!
Cried Jingles. Sometimes the work was not so peaceful after all.
Excellent!
The King and Queen of Kibble. Castle. Page. Throne. Feast.
Welcome to the castle of Kibble!
Called Henry, the young page.
Please go on to the dining hall.
The guests followed Henry. The trumpet sounded when the king and queen came in. King Charlie sat on his throne, and Queen Jingles sat on hers.
Everyone eat!
They said. There were bones, chewy toys, and rubber balls that squeaked. Best of all, there were piles and piles of bacon. It was a feast fit for royal dogs. Great! A day at the beach. Ocean. Shrimp. Jellyfish. Crab. Charlie and Jingles went to the ocean. Fluffy was sitting under an umbrella, sipping lemonade and eating lots of tiny shrimp. Charlie and Jingles jumped in the waves.
Come in the water!
They called to Fluffy. No, thank you. I do not want to be stung by a jellyfish, Fluffy told them. It is safer on shore. Suddenly, Fluffy jumped up from her chair and screamed, "A crab is pinching my tail!"
Maybe it is not safer on shore after all,
said Charlie. Great job! Feathered friends. Diet. Groom. Perch. Tame. Henry took Jingles and Charlie birdwatching.
Look! A woodpecker! It has a diet of bugs and worms,
Said Henry.
There is a robin. See it rub its head on its body? It must groom its feathers so it can fly,
Said Henry. Up high they saw a bald eagle.
The eagle likes to perch high above the water,
Said Henry.
It is looking for fish to eat.
Let's take that eagle home,
Said Charlie.
The eagle is not a tame bird,
Said Henry.
It is wild and free.
Excellent! Space dogs. Space. Planet. Mars. Pluto. Charlie and Jingles got in their rocket and blasted into outer space. They landed on a red planet. They were on Mars. They heard a squeaky voice calling,
Help! Help! My rocket is broken down!
It was Henry.
Can you take me home? I live very, very far from the sun on a place called Pluto.
Hop in,
Said Charlie. Charlie and Jingles blasted off and brought their friend home. Excellent! Home sweet home. Palace. Igloo.
cottage, trailer.
Where would you live if you could pick any place in the world, Henry?
Asked Jingles.
I'd live in a big palace made out of cheese and crackers,
Said Henry. I'd like to live in an igloo at the North Pole, said Charlie. I'd live in a cottage near the ocean, said Fluffy. Jingles looked up at the sky and dreamed for a while. Then she said,
I would live in a trailer. Then I could drive all around the country, and I'd always be at home.
Super! Airplane Adventures. Pilot, crew, glide, land. Charlie, Jingles, and Henry were flying a twin-engine plane when one of the engines stopped.
We're in trouble now,
Thought Jingles the pilot. She had to warn the crew.
Henry and Charlie, fasten your seatbelts.
Jingles ordered.
Get ready for a crash landing.
Then the second engine stopped, but Jingles stayed calm. She steered the plane through the air and let it glide.
We will land in that empty field, she said.
Bump! Everyone was all right, thanks to Jingles. Excellent! A visit to the farm. Kids, piglet, hatch, tadpole. It was springtime. Charlie and Jingles went to the farm to see the baby animals. The mother goat showed them her kid. Its legs were long and skinny. The pig had a bright pink piglet that ran very fast. Then Charlie and Jingles watched the chicks hatch from eggs. At the pond, the frogs called out, "Ribbit! Ribbit!" They are telling us this tiny tadpole will grow up to be a frog, said Charlie. Super! Exercise is good. Sheep, jog, fit, muscles. It rained for 2 weeks straight. Charlie and Jingles could not go outside to play. Finally, the sun broke through the clouds. I feel weak and flabby, Charlie said to Jingles. Let's go exercise and get back in shape. Charlie and Jingles played in the field. They went for a long jog in the park. Keep going, said Charlie proudly. This is how to stay fit. That night, Charlie groaned. Maybe that was too much exercise. All of my muscles hurt. Super! The Big Mouse. Moth, beetle, crawl, flea. One night, Henry sat on a large tree stump.
I hate being so small,
He sighed. The moth, fluttering around his head, did not answer him. A shiny beetle poked its head out of a hole.
Hello, will you crawl out and play with me?
Henry got no answer. Henry sadly scratched his head. Hey, pick on someone your own size, cried a tiny flea as it jumped out of Henry's fur. Suddenly, Henry realized he was not so small after all. Great! The shopping trip. Dairy, cart, counter, price. Fluffy loved the grocery store because it had a huge dairy section. I like milk, light cream, heavy cream, and especially whipped cream. She filled her cart with all of her favorite items. When Fluffy got to the checkout counter, she got a big surprise.
The price is $100.06,
said the lady at the cash register. Fluffy blushed and put back a few things. Good work! The soccer game. Match. Goal. Tie. Score.
Charlie, Jingles, Fluffy, and Henry got together to play soccer.
We must have a fair match, so I will play with Henry. Fluffy and Jingles can be on the other team, said Charlie.
Pass me the ball, Jingles. I can make a goal,
said Fluffy. But Jingles did not want to pass. She shot the ball herself, but missed. After a long afternoon of many more missed shots, the game ended in a tie. The score was 0-0. Excellent! The unhappy motorists. Trunk. Traffic. Hood. Motor.
Charlie and Jingles were going to visit Grandma for Thanksgiving. They put their suitcases in the trunk of the car.
There were lots of other cars on the road, too. There is too much traffic, complained Charlie. Suddenly, the car stopped. They opened the hood of the car. The motor is fine, said Charlie. But we are out of gas. We'll miss Thanksgiving dinner.
Maybe we can get help at that gas station,
said Jingles. Great! A little garden. Soil. Hoe. Petals. Shoot. Henry had a garden, and he loved to work in the rich soil. He used his hoe to dig a hole. Then he threw in some seeds and covered them up.
Now all I have to do is water and wait,
Henry said. After many days, Henry wondered,
when will my flowers bloom? I want to see their pretty petals.
He bent down close to the ground and saw a small green shoot. Hooray! The plant had started to grow. Good work! The big party. Invite. Neighbor. Welcome. Share. I want to have a big party. I will invite all my friends, said Charlie. But must I ask my neighbor Fluffy? Charlie asked his mother. Yes, she answered. You must make her feel welcome. It is polite. Come in, Charlie said to his guests. We will chew on slippers and dig holes. Then we will share some bones. Fluffy did not want to do any of those things. She wanted to go home and have some milk. Goodbye, Fluffy, said Charlie politely.
Wow, you fixed every single book. Wanda Jewel will be so pleased. When he had all of the books in tip-top shape, George looked around. He spotted Wanda Jewel at the elevator. George was anxious to return the books to her, so he grabbed them and ran as fast as he could towards the elevator. He got there just as the elevator doors opened. Wanda Jewel turned around, but she was so startled by George that she jumped up and bumped right into Thea, the star of Story Theater. Then George bumped into them, and Wanda's precious books were everywhere. Everyone started to pick up the books, but just then, George saw one of the books leaving the hotel stuck, of all places, to Thea's dress. After all of that work, George wasn't going to let a single book get away. He chased Thea into the theater.
Sorry, George. Only performers and stage crew allowed in here.
It was after 4 o'clock, and the reading was at 5. There wasn't much time left. George knew he had to find a way in to get that book back.
Hi, Hank. What's up?
Hi, you two. Go on in. Hey, wait a minute. Where did George go?
George had found a way to get backstage.
What do you know? Hi, George. Here to help? I'm in a hurry to get this whole set ready, and I could use an extra hand. What do you say?
George agreed to help. It was a good way to keep an eye on Thea and the book.
Help George pick up the letters that spell each word. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to help George move. Listen carefully. Spell aren't. You aren't coming to the party? Aren't. A. R. E. N. Apostrophe. T. Aren't. Good work. Spell wheel. Next time we'll sing. Wheel. W. E. Apostrophe. L. L. Wheel. Excellent. Spell far. My home is not far. Far. F. A. R. Far. Excellent. Spell garden. We picked flowers from the garden. Garden. G. A. R. D. E. N. Garden. Great job! Spell report. We heard a report about the weather on the television news. Report. R. E. P O R T Report. Great job! Spell or. I will go by car or bus. Or. O R. Or. Great! Spell sister. My baby sister has no teeth. Sister. S I S T E R. Sister. Super! Spell later. I'll show you how all of this equipment works later. Later. L A T E R. Later. Good work. Spell stop. She stopped the car. Stop. S T O P P E D. Stop! Great job! Spell sitting. We can start when everyone is sitting down. Sitting. S I T T I N G. Sitting. Excellent. Spell hoping. I'm hoping we'll have a great show. Hoping. H. O. P. I. N. G. Hoping. Great job! Spell taped. The sign was taped to the door. Tape, T. A. P. E. D. Taped. Good work!
The show was a hit. Thea was called out for 3 curtain calls.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! Oh, they love me! Another curtain call!
Thea was so excited by the applause that she didn't even notice George on stage. He grabbed the book, raced to the library, and made it back on time.
Oh my! I never even noticed this was missing.
You are quite a hero, George. Come inside. The reading is about to begin.
The reading began right at 5 o'clock. It was a full house. The mayor was happy, and everything was back to normal. George enjoyed every book Wanda Jewel read. He got the scoop on her new stories, then ran all the way back to the newspaper building. It was 5:45 when he arrived. He only had a few minutes before his deadline.
Good to see you made it back. Now let's get those stories.
George got to work right away.
To finish your story, place each word in the correct sentence. Town. Read. That. Wet. World-famous author Wanda Jewel came to town yesterday to read from her latest books. The stories were so new that the ink was still wet on a few of them. Great! Turn the page to keep going. Start. Noon. People. Before. The reading was to start at noon at the library. A crowd of people was there to hear her read. Even the mayor was there. Just before she began to read, Miss Jewel screamed. All of her new stories were gone. Good work! Turn the page to keep going. Happy. Every. Back. One. The mayor was not happy. She promised Miss Jewel that each and every book would be returned soon. She asked everyone to come back that night at 5 o'clock. Everyone was worried. George was the only one who knew what had happened to the books. You got it. Turn the page to keep going. Town. Some. Store. Found. George knew he had to get the books back. All afternoon, George looked around town. He found some books in the garden. He found another book at the ice cream store. He even found a book on the back of Thea's gown. Excellent! Turn the page to keep going. Time. Glad. Ben. Story. George rushed back to find Wanda Jewel at the library. He was just in time. Miss Jewel was glad to have all of her books back. "You have been very helpful," she said. "Today has been quite an adventure. I think it might make a good story." Nice job! Turn the page to keep going. They are about. Sister. Miss Jewel read her new books. The audience was silent as they listened to every word. Her new stories are delightful. Many are about Charlie the dog and his sister Jingles, characters Miss Jewel's fans have come to know and love. Nice job! Turn the page to keep going. 2. Cat. Much. Said. Miss Jewel read stories about 2 new characters. One is Fluffy the cat, and one is Henry the mouse. People liked Henry very much because he is a little mouse who thinks big. Miss Jewel said she plans to write more stories about Henry. Good work! Turn the page to keep going. Cake. Did. Away. Right. After the reading, everyone had cake and lemonade in the main hall. Everyone was happy, and this time, Miss Jewel did not let her books out of her sight. And from now on, George would let the librarian give away the right books. You finished it. Let's get this story printed. George, this is great. What a super reporter you are. And what a story.
In fact, it was such a great story that it made the front page.